Let me ask you a question. Are you in love with your wife?
No.
Me either.
What?
I've been sitting in this car for about 2 hours now because I refuse to go inside and be with my wife. Like, I hate her that much.
Stay here on my lunch break. I've came to the conclusion that today I'm going to ask my wife for a divorce. I feel like she just doesn't pay attention to my feelings.
I didn't love my wife when we got married. I loved the idea of a wife, and it's embarrassing to admit that. I married her for what she could bring to me, how she could improve my life.
I don't love my wife no more. Whatever feelings I had inside for her, they're dead. And they died a long time ago.
If you've ever worked at a place that's like blue collar, where all the guys are like provider guys, they drive nice big trucks, this, that, and the third, you will realize that a lot of them fucking hate their wives.
Imagine opening your TikTok app and the first video that appears is the video of your husband telling the world that he hates you and he do not love you. Do you imagine the emotional trauma, the pain, the everlasting pain that will cause to any woman? Imagine being at work and your colleague come and be like, hey, there's this video I want you to watch, and you open it. It's a video of your husband humiliating you on the internet, telling the world that he do not love you, but because you are the one providing for him, that is the reason why he is still in the marriage. Guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to go through a lot of videos of men humiliating their wife on social media, telling the world that they do not love their wife. And guys, I want to know your opinion after you watch this video. When some women say that they do not want marriage, a lot of people will be like, feminist. I feel like this is the reason why a lot of women are losing interest in marriage, because you're looking at people publicly humiliating their wife. Guys, I don't know, but I want to know your opinion in the comment section. I'll come back to tell you my own opinion. Let's first of all watch the videos.
Let me ask you a question. Are you in love with your wife?
No.
Me either.
What?
I don't believe in that shit anyway. It's okay. It's overrated.
No,
listen.
Then why?
Listen.
Okay.
See?
Y'all need to explain that shit to me then.
I had a feeling. No, I'm not in love with my wife.
Why?
I don't even know her.
All my relationship with my wife is a relationship with myself. I'm just discovering parts of me, bro.
Yeah.
We're lying to ourselves so fucking much to hold up this story or this ideal, the fantasy, without, as opposed to just really fucking dealing with what's there and accepting it to the best of your ability.
I understand this. Now, how do you get women to understand that? Right? You get them to bow out of the fantasy.
You get them to, by you bowing out.
If my wife thinks she's in love with me, probably. If someone asked her, she'd say yeah.
It's a buzzword. Yeah. It's a concept that's been propagated, like in love, that we've adopted, and creates an unrealistic expectation that we look for, and when it's not present, we feel something is wrong.
I've been sitting in this car for about 2 hours now because I refuse to go inside and be with my wife. Like, I hate her that much. The only reason why I'm with her is because I'm broke and I don't have nowhere else to go. Like, I can't afford the rent on my own, and she makes more money than me. So, I mean, if I was to get a good job tomorrow, I'd be gone just like that, with a woman I really want. But I can't afford the woman I want, so I gotta settle for her, literally. If we're being honest, I think I'm doing her a favor, because she got low self-esteem anyway, and she bad built, so she should be lucky that I'm with her, if that makes sense. So I don't feel guilty about it, but I mean, you know, some gotta give, because I can't keep doing this. Like, I could be with somebody I really want, but I refuse to do more, you know? I'm kind of comfortable with being nothing.
Stay here on my lunch break. I've came to the conclusion that today I'm going to ask my wife for a divorce. I've been married to my wife for 5 years. She's taking care of most of the household bills, household duties. She's helped me a lot in a lot of ways, but I just feel like we've outgrown each other. I feel like how we should have been is not how we were in the beginning. I feel like she just doesn't pay attention to my feelings. She just doesn't understand me as a man. And it's such a sad thing because we got 2 beautiful kids, and it's just like, I've had this thought in my head for like the past 6 months, and I've left mentally, but now it's just time to do it physically. And I think today is going to be the day that I ask my wife for a divorce. So if you guys don't see me on here for a while, just wish me luck. Hopefully everything goes well. Yeah.
Look, I only personally know 2 married men in marriages where they earn less than the wife. Both those women are downright cruel to them, but still, it's just 2. Maybe most are happy. They are not. In most situations that I know as well, where the woman makes more than the man, except for, I think, 2. I know a lot of married people, so except for 2 of them, the rest of them, the women are treacherous. And I'm going to tell you exactly why, and you're going to understand those women. Whoa, you didn't expect this one. If you've ever worked at a place that's like blue collar, where all the guys are like provider guys, they drive nice big trucks, this, that, and the third, you will realize that a lot of them fucking hate their wives. A lot of provider men hate their wives. Okay? At home, ladies, I know y'all like, no, not mine. Well, some of them take marriage very seriously, especially the ones who are like deeply like in religion and all that. A lot of them take it very seriously. Like, a lot of them fucking hate y'all. And the men know it. The men know, though. Boy, if you're, ladies, if you're a housewife and your man working 50, 60 hours a week, he probably fucking hates you. Why am I bringing that up? Well, men have been conditioned to patronize women. We have. Like, they're provider men who pay all the bills. He pay the rent, the mortgage, whatever. His woman get mad at him, and he'll sleep on the couch. I'm in the doghouse tonight, y'all. Boy, yeah, shit, y'all try to hop on the game. I'm in the doghouse. She got me sleeping on the couch. Like, now let's think about that. Can you fucking imagine you're a man who don't pay no bills, your woman provide for you, you get mad at her and she gotta sleep on her couch? That shit would never fucking happen. Because women have not been conditioned to patronize men. Men will hold that shit in. The fact that like he goes to work all fucking day. Y'all act like he's just paying bills. No, he's sacrificing his time, effort, money, energy, years off the end of his life just to give you that motherfucking Lululemon, that goddamn 10-can Stanley cup y'all carry around, and that motherfucking SUV, and to put you in that motherfucking house. When you don't get the acting right, trust me, in the back of his head, he pissed off. He know you mad at him, so you not answering the phone, but he also know he pay that motherfucking phone bill. So if there's anybody you answering, it better be fucking him. Men think these things in the back of our heads. A lot of us just never verbalize them unless they're around the homies, or a lot of guys just never do. Now, some guys, you don't get me wrong, I pay the bills up in this bitch. Who the fuck you talking to, girl? I know some of y'all done went through that, but a lot of men don't. Here's the thing. Women aren't conditioned to patronize men like men are conditioned to patronize women. So I promise you, if you've ever been a woman who earned more money and paid more bills than that man, or paid all the bills, and you felt that shit rise up on you like he not acting right and you paying all the motherfucking bills, like, nigga, I make all the money and I do the... Don't ever get with a man that pay all the bills for you, because that's exactly how he feel when you don't act right. Think about it. You done put a man on the couch before where he paid the bills, baby. He's patronizing you. He letting you have that. If the situation was flipped and you paid all the bills and he got mad at you, you ain't sleeping on no fucking couch. That's crazy.
Bed with this man's son. That man didn't care if I made it through that pregnancy. That man didn't care if I made it through that labor. I really have fought through some dark time. Like, literally, I couldn't get out of bed, guys. There was days I could not eat. But at the same time, I have to face my kids, and I gotta act like everything's okay because I'm the only one that feeds them on a day-to-day basis. Like, I had to drag myself out of that dark place.
Another baby in November by this crazy man. Yeah,
I'm
a
crazy,
whole
man.
nother baby.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That I decided not to keep. And do you know how hard that was?
Yeah. I can.
For me to give away a whole human being.
You was ready to have it. I told you it was going to be a boy. You know what I mean? You had him, you said on November, right? You told me that the baby died and died. This is the thing about her.
I did.
She said the baby died with his umbilical cord wrapped around his neck.
Oh, I was not that dramatic. Now you add. Don't play. Don't play. Because I ain't do that. I said the baby passed away and I didn't want to talk about it no more. That's what I said. And that was the end of it because I wasn't going to talk about it. Because you left me alone with her.
I didn't love my wife when we got married. I loved the idea of a wife, and it's embarrassing to admit that. I married her for what she could bring to me, how she could improve my life.
I don't love my wife no more. Whatever feelings I had inside for her, they're dead, and they died a long time ago.
At some point, I think it's necessary for us to see this for what it truly is, and that is a humiliation ritual. Some men have a humiliation kink, humiliation fetish. They love embarrassing you, publicly and privately. These days, there are so many men out there who are so afraid of being labeled a simp or a sucker for loving a woman that they just want to make it clear, I didn't even love her at first, or I don't even love her now, all for the approval and the acceptance of other men. They think it makes them look like some kind of tough guy, that they're with a wife that they can tell everybody they don't even love. This man goes on to say in the beginning of the marriage he was selfish, he put his own wants and needs above hers, and my whole thing is he's still selfish, because you're still doing that. You're still monetizing off of her trauma, and you're still publicly embarrassing her. Do you think it fills her with pride for her to hear her man talk about how he didn't love her at first? He didn't care then, and I don't think he cares now. Any man who's willing to humiliate and embarrass you for the approval and the acceptance of other men is not worth having.
I'm going to have to agree with the women on this one. A lot of you men do hate your wives. I'm 27 years old. I worked a lot of jobs where men just complain about not wanting to go home. We had this one fella at my job. He doesn't work there no more. But he's talking about his pregnant wife. Is there anything I could do at work to stay here because she's pregnant? She gets on my nerves. Like, y'all hate y'all partners that much? I'm married. I can't wait to get off work to go back to my wife. So y'all always just want to gaslight women and talking about women just be talking, women this, women that. But if you really think about it, they be saying some facts sometimes. I like to give credit where credit is due. Y'all men need to start picking better partners. And if you hate women in general, you don't gotta get married to them.
I used to go around asking men for advice about getting married, and now that I'm 4 years in, I realize that a lot of these men didn't like their wives. After I posted that video, this comment read, "Can you talk more about liking your wife?" So many men seem to generally dislike and seem to be annoyed by women. They love but don't like. What I've both seen and learned as I've grown is that men will marry women who serve them even if they don't like them. That's how patriarchy conditions them. For example, if you ask a cis man what he likes about his partner, he'll soon begin listing the ways in which she serves him. You know what I mean? Like, I think society conditions men to not like women. Like, you love them, you feel a sense of duty towards them, you get one and you take care of them because that's what men do, we're taught. And you're hearing your whole life from church, the men in your life, the media, that women talk too much, they don't listen, they're disagreeable, they're emotional. Cis men tend to like other men in non-romantic ways. They like being around their guys and spending time with them, and sometimes these men talk to each other about how much they don't like their wives. But men will marry women who serve them, who are submissive and obedient and who know their place. Because as I've said, in the eyes of patriarchy, there can be no relationship without control. All liking someone is feeling attraction towards them or taking pleasure in them, delighting in them. Like, I like my wife, I like talking to her and being around her. Even if we're not doing stuff together, I feel better knowing that we're occupying the same space. I like her laugh and the way she speaks. Sometimes I just like watching her exist. Something about it fills me up, inspires me, reminds me. Like, she's my person, my favorite person. Seeing her makes me feel happy and safe. Yes, we're people that argue. Sometimes we annoy each other. But because we like each other, it doesn't take long for either of us to begin a resolution. Because who wants to not be talking to someone they actually like for the sake of pride? Thank you for watching, and like and follow for more content.
I just saw another creator's video of, I think, 2 or 3 married men saying that they don't actually love their wives. And my theory behind that is it's because the woman that they actually wanted, they fumbled, and when they tried to sneak back to her, she said no thank you. So they took whatever they could get. Now, they may love things about this woman, maybe things that she does for them, but that is a dangerous game to play. Why would you marry someone or be with someone in any capacity that you don't love? That's truly a dangerous game to play because people snap. If I had to pick between an emotional blow or a physical one, square up and punch me clean in the face, because that will heal over time, right? The pain will go away in a matter of hours, sometimes a matter of days, but you see an emotional wound, like playing with a person's heart, their feelings, their emotions, there's nothing you can mend there. You can't put no band-aid, you can't put ice, you can't go to the hospital, you can't do anything about that. You have to sit and process those feelings all over and over again. Why would they do this? Why would you treat me like this? Why would you speak to me like this? You have to process that, and that can sometimes take years. But if you had to pick between an emotional blow and a physical blow, ask anybody. They'll just be like, yo, just hit me clean in my, just rock it. Because after a while, it's going to mend. But emotional blows can stay with people for a lifetime. And I don't think people can understand that. Why would you marry someone you don't love? Why would you be with someone you don't love? For stuff? I can never understand that. Like, I just personally don't understand that. You're sharing time, space, energy, air with a person that you don't actually like. You don't love them. Why? Don't you love yourself? Because I can't fathom the thought of sharing space and time with someone that I don't like, that I don't love. It's one thing if you have no choice, like you work with somebody you don't like, okay, I'm here to get money, I ain't got to like you. But like you're in a union with someone that you don't love. Like I said, my theory is the person that they wanted, they treated poorly, and they realize they can't have that person back. So they're just like, I'll take whatever. And then that woman that they're dealing with, they're usually not treating them very well either. That's such an odd dynamic. Just be single. Why put someone through emotional ringers like that? And another thing that people do not consider, that karma, because baby, you are racking it up. You're going to have to pay that back in another life. And it's going to be hard. You might as well just be honest.
Getting married has really taught me how many men actually really hate their wives, because I can't tell you how many men I've heard in my life just talk about dog shit on their wives and how their wife makes them do this and my wife's taking me to this little shit or whatever. And I will tell you right now, and my friends will feel some type of way about this, I don't want to hang out with anyone more than my wife. And that even goes for my closest friends, because I love y'all. I love seeing y'all. But like, if my wife wants to go do something, I'm gonna be so real. I'm gonna go do it. Because my wife is actually dope. My wife is funny as fuck. She just does like the funniest shit ever. It's like the dumbest shit you've ever heard in your life, but it's so fucking funny, and she's so fucking fun. And I'm like, I don't understand why so many people hate their wives. I don't get it. I don't know.
Will you make me a coffee?
Are you crazy? You were home all night.
Why are you?
Can I finish?
Why do you keep going on?
You were home all night last night, and then you get up this morning and ask me to do the dishes.
What?
And I had all the kids last night.
You can say no.
Oh, I know.
Do you know how
I
easy
hear
that
it all
is?
the time.
Hey, will you make me
Oh,
some
you
coffee?
don't have. We know you know how to say no.
This is a man that would be miserable to be married to. His wife asks him, hey, can you make me a coffee? He says, are you serious? And then he starts telling her all the things he's done. He says, you were home last night. I was with the kids. I did the dishes. And then she says, you can just say no. And he says, oh, I know. You say no all the time. Oh, he's keeping track of everything he does for her. It is not done out of love. That is not a relationship that is peaceful and enjoyable. And he's using anything he can against her. He says, well, you say no to me all the time, so I can say no to you. This is a marriage that is about to be totally destroyed and explode. It's probably already gone. Because when a man treats you like this is a very bad sign. He's keeping track. Well, I did this. I vacuumed. Look at everything I do. As if taking care of the kids, like those aren't his kids too. That's called being a dad. As if those dishes aren't created, aren't dirtied by him and his family. Like that's not his responsibility as well. Men like this expect their wife to wait on them hand and foot. And if they do anything for you, they're keeping track and they will expect you to owe them. A man that makes a marriage about, well, I did this, well, you did that, is very miserable. Miserable to be with. It's an unworkable relationship because there will never be peace. They will keep track of every little thing you do that they don't like. And that is scary. That is not how a good, healthy, happy relationship works. And a woman in a relationship like that will feel so insignificant and so belittled, which is exactly his goal.
One thing a lot of men gonna do is embarrass their wife. So let me get this straight, bro. You broke. You have, she make more money than you, but she has quote unquote low self-esteem, and the only reason you with her is because you can't afford to get the woman that you want. Bro, do that woman a favor and leave. do that woman a favor and leave. First of all, why do some of y'all get online? You getting online to diss your own woman? I don't understand. Some of y'all don't even think about what you do before you do it. Leave that woman because you don't like that woman at all, and you don't respect that woman to even get online and tell us that you hate her. What is wrong with you, bro? And she taking care of you, making more money than you, and then you think you doing her a favor in what, the looks category? Boy, please stop.
It is really crazy because when I'm having conversations with older men, I mean like men like twice my age, the common thing that I always notice is like, in reality, these men really hate their wives. They love their kids, right? But they genuinely hate their wives, bro. Or baby moms, whoever they are, whatever they have. Because when they're describing to me their wives or just their situations that they have going on, they just the look in their face is just straight disgust. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, you put yourself in this position and you only have yourself to blame.
We have a man in our comment section confirming for us ladies what we've known all along, that men don't feel a drive, a need, or an obligation to actually love their wife. As a simple driver, repairman, garbage man, and ATM who fulfills his duties, I don't think I am obligated to love my employer. I need to be professional. No emotions needed. There you have it. He needs to be professional. No emotions needed. Do the job, and that's it. And I guess once you've done your job, you can then go about your free time and do what you actually want to do, which is nothing to do with your employer. But the thing is this, when you end up getting laid off or fired by your employer, you're mad. So what do you want? Maybe you should have chosen to be self-employed.
The amount of men that get on Beyonce's internet, on this here TikTok, and in so many words admit that they really just married their wife because she was there at the time, but that the love of their life got away. It is really terrifying. It's like what nightmares are made of. Like, imagine you're logging into Twitter or TikTok or Instagram and you see your husband commenting on a thread talking about, yeah, she was just there at the time. She was ready when I was ready. But my college sweetheart is the one that got away. Every single day, I just strive to find one reason that would be beneficial to get married. Like, one reason. Because me personally, if I found out that I was just the there at the time woman in a man's life, the woman to fill the gap, I would backflip off the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yeah, head first. And the thing is, you can never be sure. You don't know, because a dude isn't going to tell you. Men don't marry for love 90% of the time is really what I'm starting to see. And it's just, I don't know. It's real sad and it's scary. And yeah, I think that'll do it for me. And every time I think, man, that's crazy, men go crazier. And they say something even more out of pocket. Like, it's insane to know how many men really don't like their wives. Like, they just really don't even like them at all.
And this is the reason why a lot of men end up marrying somebody who's a maid but not a friend.
Bro, I'm gonna throw some your way, and I want you to answer that.
This is the reason why she's washing your clothes. She's doing everything that you want her to do, but you don't want to talk to her. She easily irritates you because you don't even like her.
That's what I want to get to. Thank you for going there.
You don't even like her.
Bro, I've talked to several married men who told me that they don't like their wives. I asked them, well, are you at least friends with your wife? They're like, friends.
I bet they do. I bet they do everything for him though. They do everything for him though.
Can I say something?
You make enough money to marry a maid. I mean, to hire a maid. I mean, and then marry a friend, right?
Wow.
If you want, if that's what you want, and so what you really want is somebody to cater to your egos,
and your brokenness.
Your brokenness.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get that to Jesus.
Woo. Go ahead. Go, sis.
Can I say
Yeah.
something? I have thought it a bit interesting that it does seem like some men enjoy men more than they enjoy women, but they marry women because they're supposed to, but their affections, their time, their energy, their vulnerability is giving space for men more than
About getting married, and now that I'm 4 years in, I realize that a lot of these men didn't like their wives.
Hey y'all, so that young man I just stitched brought up an amazing point, and I'm so happy to hear a man admit to this and say this out loud. So go back and watch his original video, but he did a thing and he found out that, men don't like women. His married friends don't like their wives. I've been saying this for years, and listen, I love men, good men. I love good men that are real men, but the rest of them I'm like, ugh. One of the things I discovered years and decades ago, actually, is that men don't really like women. So many men hate their wives. If you ever, like in the workplace, and you hear a dude talking about his wife, it's always very disparaging comments. It's like crazy. It's like, bruh, do you not even like your wife? What the fuck? Men don't like women. This is totally my conjecture, so do with this what you will. A lot of times men don't like women because we're not men. They want men, but they can't admit it due to societal pressures. So many men, I just want to go up to them and say, dude, just say that you're gay. Like, it's okay, it's all right. But they can't, and they feel pressured, so they blame us because they can't be who they really are. That's conjecture number one. Number two, the men that actually do get married, again, this is not all men, but this is a huge majority of them, feel trapped. They feel trapped in a marriage. They really don't want to do it. They want to be free, but they're doing their societal duty, so to speak, in being married. So of course they resent their wife for taking away their freedom. Men also want to fuck everything that moves. Again, not all, but a whole lot of them. So they resent their wife for not allowing them to go fuck a bunch of bitches and have to uphold their marriage. Men resent women once they have babies. Oh my God. Once women become mothers, why do you think it is so prevalent in America specifically, but it happens other places too? Why is it so prevalent that men be unaliving their entire families? The kids, the wife, what have you? Because he hates them, period. Your daddy probably hated your mama. Your daddy hates you. Your brothers hate you. Your brothers hate your girlfriend. The men around you hate the women around them. And if y'all don't believe me, then let's do a test. Going forward, whenever you're around men, around your guy friends, or if you're married or whatever, just close your mouth, but open your ears and listen to the rhetoric that they say. Start looking at, God, just look at social media comments to tell you how much men hate women. It is absolutely abhorrent. So I want you ladies to take this information, keep that in mind. And those of y'all that don't want marriage and don't want babies, be resolute in your decisions because you're not missing anything.
Favorite thing is when men talk about their wives and you can clearly tell they don't like their wives. And so they will go on like a 5 to 10 minute rant about all the things their wives do that like annoy them and all that. And then at the very end they go, don't get me wrong, I love my wife. Like, you just had a 10-minute roast about her. I really don't think you do.
One of the saddest things for women to realize is that men don't even love them. They also don't really love their children. I have now seen a lot of women getting divorced and thinking that since their husband is supposed to love their kids, that he's going to be very nice and amicable and make the divorce as trauma-free for the children as possible out of love for his children, because the mom thinks that I am going to make it as trauma-free for the children because I am an adult, and so obviously he would do the same thing even if we can't get along. And time again, in my own life and in stories, I see women being shocked that their partner does all of these traumatizing things that is going to hurt them and the kids, and will even sometimes choose to hurt the kids just to hurt their partner. And I think it's a hard pill to swallow of just how hated so many women are in America.
As some of you may know, a clip of me saying that I'm not in love with my wife went viral. And when I say viral, I mean like in the worst way something viral can go. And I've been debating on if I would respond, how to respond. And here's my attempt. And I'm gonna need a minute. I feel like there's a lot of trauma being monetized and propagated. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to start Tune the Fork, was because I know what me and my close friends talk about, and I just don't see a lot of that reflected. And so I wanted to raise awareness to the fact that there are men struggling, that there are different ways of doing things, that superheroes exist in everyday life, and the majority of them don't wear a cape. They just fucking trying to keep the lights on, trying to keep their lady happy, trying to manage the stuff that's going on inside of them. And a lot of us don't feel seen. A lot of us don't feel appreciated. And when I invite people on, I take that seriously. And I want to highlight greatness that's in the mundane, or that's in the normal, because that's where I feel the majority of it is. And what's unfortunate is, of the hundreds of hours that I have online, that the one thing that goes viral is that. And what I think is most unfortunate about it in general is the misinterpretation. And not just the misinterpretation, but when you try to clarify, it's that people don't care. They have an idea of what something is, and that's what they're going with. I'm thankful for the thousands and thousands of negative comments, because what you guys have done is you've reminded me to be a lot more careful about what I'm looking at online, what I'm perceiving to be negative or bad or unfortunate or unhealthy. And it's also a reminder that what I'm seeing isn't actually what's there. I can't tell you how happy my wife and I are. You just gotta see it. And the people around us see it. They might not necessarily understand all of the pieces, but they see it and they feel it. The way my wife and I are orienting ourselves for maximum fulfillment and development of self, and then watching how our marriage is growing in all of these ways, is an extremely, extremely beautiful thing. As a matter of fact, my wife and I were just talking the other day, and we could have never imagined that we would be here. That's not in love in the traditional sense, because it feels like something deeper. Like, how do you imagine something that's unimaginable? Or how do you describe a feeling that you haven't felt, but you have an idea of what it is, and then when you get to the feeling, it's totally different than what you imagine. And there are these complexities that are in it, you know, that can contradict one another, but at the same time complement each other, that makes it more. Every time I think something can't get better, it gets better. But again, none of that feels like in love, or at least what my concept of it is. And what you're responding to in that clip is not me, that is you. Because I can't tell you how wrong you are. I'd leave my wife immediately. I'd leave my husband. I gotta do this, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. People calling me gay. People calling me fat. People calling me, toxic. And some of it's true. I mean, the gay part ain't true, but you dig what I'm saying. I encourage everybody to explore, ask questions, leave room. Because if you could be wrong about me and my wife, which I guarantee you are, ask yourself how many other things you could be wrong about.
The reason why I have a strong sexual appetite for my wife is because I don't go eat burgers and fries and shakes when I'm out. I eat when I get home. My eyes, I don't go feast on other women's bodies all day and then compare my wife's body that I've been with for 26 years to somebody's body that ain't even 26 years old.
I love that video. That guy's such a phenomenal creator. It is so true that if a man is like, oh, I'm not attracted to my wife anymore. Look at his search history. Look at what he's looking at on social media. It is not normal for a married man to go and look at all these naked women on a screen. Of course he's not going to be attracted to his wife anymore. He's meeting his sexual appetite. He's feeding it with a bunch of other women. Sometimes I'll even hear a woman say, I don't care if my man looks but doesn't touch. One day he's going to get bored of you because he has feasted his eyes on every other woman he had access to. Whenever a man says something like, I can't imagine being with one woman for the rest of my life. Yeah, it's because you've been feeding your lust. You're looking at naked woman after naked woman after naked woman on your social media, on your internet searches. In real life, you're staring at every other woman. And so then, yeah, by the time you look at your wife, you're like, it could be better. If looking at altered images affects women's self-esteem, if looking at women who have had a ton of work done affects women's self-esteem, you think men aren't impacted by looking at all these images, by having constant access to naked women? A good man will protect his eyes. He's not going to be out there staring at every other woman, fantasizing about every other woman. He knows that to protect his marriage, he will have self-control day in and day out, instead of being this like very lustful kind of guy. If a man tells me, oh, I'm just not attracted to my wife anymore, I already know what he's been looking at. I know that kind of man who falls out of love with his wife because he's not attracted to her anymore has fed his lust over and over and over. And that kind of man will never be satisfied.
It just becomes more apparent day by day that some men just don't like women. I saw a video earlier of a woman who was going to the airport with her husband to pick up their daughter. They were taking her car, but he decided to drive. And when they got in the car, he noted that they were low on gas. So she figured that they would stop for gas, and when they didn't after a while, she leaned over, checked the dash, realized the gas light was on, and asked him how long the light had been on. To which he responded, I don't know, this isn't my Jeep, it's not my responsibility. I didn't check the dash. So they did stop for gas, but she asked him, you didn't check the dash at all and see that the gas light was on? And so what would happen if we just ran out of gas? He said, well, it's not my Jeep, it's not my responsibility. I figure you would just call AAA and we would get gas from them. So you were willing to wait for the car to run out of gas, call AAA, wait probably at least an hour for them to come to you, meanwhile your daughter's at the airport, all to prove a point to your wife that she should have gotten gas? It takes 5-10 minutes max to get gas. Why couldn't they just stop on the way there? So what if she forgot? What's with the passive aggression and the weaponized incompetence? Because any real man would be like, oh, we need gas, and would stop and pump it and ask her if she needs snacks. Not throw a tantrum and be like, I don't know, it's not my Jeep. Sir, it's your wife's car. You're on your way to pick up your daughter. You would rather let your daughter wait and you guys have to wait for AAA? I don't get it. I hope she's already filed for divorce.
I'm convinced that being a wife is pointless these days and age. Unless you find an actual good man that will treat you like a queen and just give you everything that a man is supposed to give his wife. Other than that, being a wife is pointless. There's no reward for it. Being a wife means you have to put yourself last and put your man first. And he's going to tell you that you're only good if you give him what he wants or what he needs. And that he shouldn't give you anything in return. Yeah, they'll try to convince women on this app and many others that being a wife is rewarding. Meanwhile, these men don't reward their wives. They reward their hard work and faithfulness by talking about them behind their back to their homeboys. Locker room talk. That's the reward for being obedient. And men will brag all day about how well they can manipulate a woman and convince her that she's nothing more than a tool for him to use. I've seen it many, many times, and I've read the threads. I've heard it with my own ears. For example, when talking about his wife, this man said, the only reason why I married her is because the woman I really wanted to marry was taken and she got pregnant by someone else. Listen to these men. They're telling you the truth about how they feel about us. They only want us to cook their food and clean their house and have their babies, while they go out into the world and be with who they really want to be with and justify it by saying, well, men like variety, men have needs. They'll convince you that you're supposed to stay in a little cocoon, a little shell that they built for you, and live a miserable, boring life while they travel the world and do whatever they want, enjoying life and what it has to offer. Oh, and God forbid you're a woman with your own money and you're intelligent, because they'll tell you that you're masculine and you're uppity and you don't know how to treat a man anyway. If you're able to provide yourself what a man is not willing to provide for you, it's a problem with them. Like, for example, if a man asks you out and says, hey, I want to take you to a 5-star restaurant, right? Then he pays the bill. Then afterward, he hints that he wants to sleep with you because he paid the bill. And you say, no thanks. And you hand him the money for all the food that you both ate. Men don't like that. They'd rather that you take the bait. If you're privy to their true intentions, they hate that. They hate it. And I'm here for it. It's fine if they hate it. I really don't care. And you know what? Being single and dying alone doesn't sound too bad at this point. Because I came into this world single and alone. So yeah.
There was a research that I discovered on Psychology Today. And it did research on relational tendencies of men. And in the conclusion was that a lot of men don't like their wives. They prefer to be in company of their male counterparts. They're not gay, but they like the image that they saying their married men bring. And they completely don't like their wives. They even HAT, and especially after the woman has kids. They don't like their wives, they don't like their children. A lot of times they feel trapped in those marriages. Disclaimer, there's a lot of great men out there who actually want to and love their families. The majority, if you doubt me, listen to them. Listen to men talk in the man cave when they're hanging out by themselves, when they're hanging out at the bar, when they're hanging out at the cigar lounges, when they're hanging out in church, before church, after church, when they're hanging out in your house. Just shut up and listen to what they're saying. about their wives, especially the ones that have been married 5, 10, 50 years. Sometimes it's subtle, but sometimes it's also very overt. Like for some of them might be verbal. Listen to what they're saying. They have enough money to marry their maids, right? Because that woman is cooking, cleaning, chasing up with the kids. Listen, as someone who's been and had experience over a decade, especially in patriarchal, the patriarchy world that we are in, look, you have to be real with yourself. And as women in heterosexual relationships, don't pretend like what you see, you don't see it. And take care of yourself, detach emotionally. You can change that man, accept it for what it is. If you realize your man, your husband truly don't like you, they go to work early, they stay at work all the way too late, and it's a pattern. Even on the weekend, they are going to work constantly. They are not looking to have date line with you. I mean, date nights with you, take you out to wherever they're going. They prefer to hang out with their guy friends than to hang out with you or plan things with you. Or if you're going to plan things with them, it's painful. It's like you're just pulling on like it's dead weight mode, okay? Just telling you right now, there's research behind it. Go search on psychology today. From research and from personal experience. I'm just saying it again. They only do it because it looks good on them to say they are married. But otherwise, they don't like you. Look at the patterns. Be quiet enough to see what they want. They want to keep you around enough for you to, especially if you're the one building them up, motivating them, therapizing them, whatever. You're spending all that energy. Learning from some of us, don't do that. Okay? They're keeping you trapped until they get to where they need to get to. And if you make that mistake of not elevating yourself and keeping yourself elevated while you're in it, you're the one who's going to be standing there left with barely anything, with vulnerable children with barely anything. So don't do that. Notice, see, open your eyes, be present, make a safe exit plans if necessary. I don't like it. Men act, and men are so different from us women. They become completely detached and attached from the relationship with you have with them and with the children. And that's just a brutal honest. If you're like, watch Dateline, watch any of those crime shows where a lot of women get unalived. Or the women who've been in marriages over decades, 20, 30 years, and they'll say they stay there a lot of times because they sacrifice something. Or if they're wise enough or they've seen their mothers or grandmothers and aunties do it, they have the blueprint. If you don't have the blueprint and you think you're gonna allow that man into loving you back or pray out in them to loving you back, or you're trying to be a good girl, you're gonna wear yourself out mentally, physically, psychologically, spiritually. You're gonna just wiggle, melt, and wrinkle out. Just say it. Okay, take care of yourself. Stop the shenanigans and know what it is and listen. Watch the patterns and listen. Just because you're in America means you're like locked up for life. It's not a sentence. It ain't gonna go ahead and judge that you're sentenced to life. Yes, you're dedicated, but you cannot be the only one being dedicated. So marriage is a beautiful thing. There's great guys out there, but some guys come in with a mask, with a representative. And when you start to notice and be present in your relationship and see what's happening. And when you see it for what it is, Accept it for it is and start making your next steps, next plans. Don't lose yourself in decades and don't work on yourself, your career, your finances, yourself, mental, psychological, all of it. Love you so much. Bye.
Guys, this video is so very bad. I do not know how the wives of these men who came on social media announcing all this nonsense will feel. Like, you want to give your wife a divorce, why can't you go through it without coming to the internet to announce it? You hate your wife, why can't you give her a divorce? Why did you marry somebody you do not love? How do you manage seeing somebody you hate so much every day and eating the food the person you hate so much give you? Guys, honestly, men are so very hard to understand. I still say it. Men are very hard to understand, but I want to know your opinion in the comment section.